Hi everybody, Levi Clay here, and I'm back again to do another Rage Time video in a very appropriate floral shirt, I must say, which shows off just how tattooed these arms are getting, right? So today we're going to be talking about the subject of gatekeeping in the music community, and I'm really interested in your thoughts on this one. So if you do have any comments, whether it be about me being right or wrong, I'm happy to hash this out with you in that comments section below, so please do get in touch. So before we talk about exactly why, let's do the what. What is gatekeeping? Well, as the name might suggest, gatekeeping would be where you have somebody that feels that they get to stand at the gates to some sort of club and they get to decide who can come in and who's not allowed to come in. Now, if you go on Reddit, you can go to the gatekeeping sub on Reddit, and what you're going to find is lots of examples of this. And what we're dealing with today is somebody that is essentially telling me I'm not allowed to be talking about Danny Gatton because I never saw Danny Gatton play. Now, of course, that's a ridiculous notion, and it's something that I have dealt with many, many times over the years in working in journalism. I've been told by people that I'm not qualified to talk about Alex Lifeson. I'm not qualified to have opinions on guys like Hendrix or Van Halen, because at the end of the day, I'm only 30, right? So what do I know about stuff like this? So yeah, essentially the story is I uploaded a video, when was this? This was back in October, talking about my Telecaster over here. I have a metal plate on the back of it, and many people ask me, what is that? Why is that there? And it's a tribute to Danny Gatton, one of my all-time favourite guitar players. So I uploaded a video called What's That Metal Thing on Your Telecaster? Danny Gatton's Magic Dingus Box. Now, yesterday I got a comment on that video from a gentleman going by the username Heavy Mental, and I'm just going to read it verbatim. So he says, your information on Danny is all acquired second-hand. I bet you'd never seen him play. To most of us, he's not only an incredible guitarist and one of the nicest people that you could ever meet, his talent was extraordinary, more so considering he didn't spend much time practicing as others. He had a unique gift. So riles me up a little bit. Just, your information is second-hand. No shit, Sherlock. So, like, why are you gatekeeping a fan base? Like, sorry, I didn't know Danny personally, therefore I'm not allowed to listen to his music. So I pointed out that this is classic gatekeeping, and he said, no, I'm not gatekeeping. It's just incredible how so many disperse expert knowledge, never really knowing who they're talking about, which is a ludicrous notion to me, because is what's being implied here that you can only ever talk about something from a position of knowledge, a position of understanding, if you were physically there, if you actually saw it and experienced these things firsthand. Of course, eyewitness accounts are a lot more reliable than people that weren't there, but if that were the case, historians wouldn't be a thing, right? Who could talk to you about Julius Caesar or the things that went on in ancient Egypt or any historical period? You weren't there, therefore you can't talk about it. We have to read, we have to study, and music is actually a wonderful subject to be an expert on without having been there, because you can listen to the things that actually happened. There's a great record of things that happened, and it's called the music. So when it comes to someone like Danny Gatton or Alan Holdsworth, yeah, sure, these weren't guys that I went out and I saw play hundreds and hundreds of times, but I can review the recordings. In fact, I have several hundred Danny Gatton live bootlegs, and I have transcribed at least 100 for various people over the years. I'm very, very familiar with Danny's playing, and I've read as much as I possibly can on his life, because unfortunately I can't go back in time and change the way things were. But does that mean I'm not allowed in some sort of community? More importantly, does that mean that I'm not allowed to sit here to you and try and encourage you to go and listen to someone that has inspired me as much as they have? Because the way I see it, I'm doing a whole lot more for someone's legacy than you are by sitting here and telling me that I'm not really allowed to talk about them because I didn't see it happen. Ridiculous. So when pointing this out, the guy did come back and say, well, from your video you make it seem as though you have a deeper knowledge of Danny Gatton than I suspect you do. He's really standing at that gate, isn't he? You're not coming in. I suspect I know more than you. Historical research involves more than Googling him. To those of us that knew him, your remarks about forgetting him and your flaccid attempt at sarcasm directed towards me can be regarded as an insult, Mr. Clay. Oh, I have to laugh at that because, of course, insults me That's not my style, is it? And the idea that I might mask my insults, hide my insults. No, I'm very direct. When I think someone's being an idiot like this guy, I don't mind actually coming out and saying it. So when I point this out and just point out all of these, the whole notion of gatekeeping a fan base, and how stupid this makes someone sound, and the damage it does to someone's legacy. Like, really, let's talk to the family. It could be anyone. I hate to make this about Danny Gatton. It could be about literally anyone. You could speak to Alan Holdsworth's family, or any artist that has died, any artist that is no longer with us, and you could say, hey, just for the record, what do you prefer? Do you like the fact that there are hundreds and thousands of people all around the world that might not have had the experience of seeing your relative in the flesh, but they still evangelize his legacy? They were touched so much by his musical output that they try and spread that message to other people, try and encourage people to listen to these things. That's a great thing, isn't it? That's a good thing. Or would you prefer that there were people out there trying to put people off being part of that community? You know, I keep mentioning Holdsworth because I've said this on the Guitar Souls many times before, and it's a bit of an exaggeration, but also partially true. I've never met a more hostile fan base than the Alan Holdsworth fan base. You know, if you're not an approved member, you ain't getting in. And I know actually my friend Brett Stein at the moment is dealing with just torrents of abuse from people because he does these fabulous covers of Alan Holdsworth's music and really puts the time into getting everything right and creating the better transcriptions than I would ever attempt to do. This guy is the dog's bollocks when it comes to Holdsworth. But he gets attacked by people because people were like, oh, you know what? If Alan was still here today, he wouldn't appreciate what you're doing. Alan was about being original. Alan was about creating your own thing, not just copying what other people do. Can you imagine being that stupid? Can you imagine being so stupid that you want to go and put someone down that's put more time and effort and appreciation into the artist you love than you have? These guys like this heavy mental should not be part of any sort of music community. And I know that sounds like I'm gatekeeping, but you know what? If this guy's allowed to gatekeep, then I probably should as well and boot this motherfucker out, because this is not doing anyone any favours. So when I point out the stupidity of this to him, he comes back with, hey Levi, how stupid are you? Not a rhetorical question. Are you niche stupid, or more generally so? I followed Danny Gatton throughout his career. You're a young Brit who wasn't alive during Danny's playing days, who probably only recently learned of him, and now pretends to be some sort of half-assed evangelizer. You're late, dude. Danny's been the man since at least 77. Half of you was but an oocle in your mama's ovary back then, plonker. I just want to sit here in silence. I'm flabbergasted that someone can be this fucking stupid. I don't wish ill on this person, but part of me, I said this to him, part of me looks forward to the day when he dies and everyone that he knows dies and he can have everything exactly how he wants it to be, which is Danny's legacy dying with him, because he owns the legacy, doesn't he? Because he saw it firsthand. I hope that I never become one of those people. I was lucky enough to, for example, get to go and see like Guthrie Govan play all of the time in the basement in Chelmsford before he was like a big popular thing, right? And I'm not going to say to people, you can't speak about Guthrie's playing because you weren't there. You didn't see it. Years from now, when Jim Mullen has passed, I'm never going to say, yeah, but did you used to go and watch him play in London? Or Martin Taylor, or all of these legends that I have been lucky enough to see because of my geolocation, because I was born in England during this period. I hope that I never get to the period of saying, you can't speak about this. Don't consider yourself an expert in this. I don't consider myself an expert in Danny Gatton, but I'm never going to take being called an evangelizer to someone's legacy that's been as influential to me as Danny was to me as an insult, because I think I'm on the right side of history on this one. So yeah, heavy mental, carry on, keep doing your thing. I think you're an idiot, and yeah, all well and good. But what do you guys think? What do you think of the idea of gatekeeping the music community? Are there any benefits to this? And I ask that as a genuine question because to me it's an obvious no. Of course the answer is no, right? But maybe you think there is. Maybe there's a good reason to do this. And if you do feel that way, do let me know in that comments section below. I do appreciate, actually, just recently I was talking about Old Town Road and kind of gatekeeping the country community a little bit by saying this isn't country music. Not because people aren't welcome into the country community, of course, but just because objectively you can say this isn't actually like country. You need to preserve what something is, so it doesn't become diluted and become something that it isn't. But maybe you consider that gatekeeping. I don't really think of that as gatekeeping because I do like the song. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So lastly, I just want to say a huge thank you to these people over here. These are some of my supporters over on patreon.com. And yeah, can't thank those guys enough for everything that they have done for me, especially now, more so than ever. I've not been uploading as many videos as I normally would, and that's purely because I am in the process of packing my life up into boxes so I can move into a new house. And I'm not looking forward to that, guys. I've got to move house and then I've got to build a studio from scratch. But we'll go all out. We'll make it even better looking, even better sounding. It's just going to take me some time. So thank you so much, guys, for your support. It has been a huge help in this stressful time of not having the time to do anything. Yeah, it means the world. So if you would like to be like those people, you can check me out on Patreon by clicking this button up here. You can subscribe by clicking this button down here, and you'll see 2 more of my videos here and here. And much to Heavy Mental's dismay, they will both be about Danny Gatton. You should go and check him out because he was a fabulous and inspiring guitar player and one of my all-time favourites. So much love, and I will see you for another video soon. Laters.